Senator Heinrich was going to address the real elephant in the room, which are some of our audience members accusing you of pretty serious conduct. So, Director Burns, I want to give you a chance to respond to what's been said. Is Israel exterminating the Palestinian people?
Senator, all I can say is, what I said before. I think there are a lot of innocent civilians in Gaza who are in desperate conditions right now. I think there are hostages and their families who are also in desperate circumstances as well. And I think I've learned a long time ago in crises like this that you have to find a practical goal and pursue it relentlessly. And the goal the president has laid out, working with our Israeli, Qatari, and Egyptian partners, I think is the most practical one I can see right now, is to produce a ceasefire of at least 6 weeks, produce the return of the hostages, ultimately all of the hostages, and get desperately needed humanitarian relief to people who need it in Gaza.
So is that a no? You do not believe Israel is exterminating the Palestinian people?
No, I think I understand Israel's need, and the president has emphasized this, to respond to the brutish attack that Israelis suffered on the 7th of October against Hamas, against a terrorist group. But I think we all also have to be mindful of the enormous toll that this has taken on innocent civilians in Gaza. And as the president has said, it's very important for Israel to be extremely mindful of that and to avoid further loss of civilian life.
Director Haynes, do you believe Israel is exterminating the Palestinian people?
I really don't have anything to add to what Director Burns has said. I fully endorse what he's commented on.
Israel, and you also stand accused of starving the Palestinian children. Is Israel starving children in Palestine or in Gaza?
I think, Senator, the reality is that there are children who are starving in Gaza.
But is Israel doing that?
They're starving, they're malnourished as a result of the fact that humanitarian assistance can't get to them. It's very difficult to distribute humanitarian assistance effectively unless you have a ceasefire, which is exactly why, I think there's great value in what's on the table now, a return of hostages and a significant ceasefire enabling people to get that humanitarian assistance.
Okay. For the record, I do not believe that Israel, nor any of you or the United States government, is exterminating the Palestinian people or starving Palestinian children. Director Haynes, there have been several news reports, you might say leaks, to the effect that Iran does not have full control of its proxy groups. That's the headline from Politico last month. The quote, "While Iran is supporting the proxy groups financially and with military equipment, intelligence officials do not believe it is commanding the attacks. Its lack of control over the Houthis and the militias in Iraq and Syria has muddied the deliberations in Washington about how to respond to repeated attacks on U.S. interests in the region, including the attack in Jordan on January 28th that killed 3 American troops." But on page 18 of the assessment, the intelligence community writes, "Tehran was able to flex the network's military capabilities in the aftermath of Hamas's attack on October 7th, orchestrating anti-Israel and anti-U.S. attacks from Lebanon to the Bab el-Mandab Strait while shielding Iranian leaders from significant consequences." Orchestrating is stronger than anything I've heard. It's not providing support or training or funding. So it's your assessment, the intelligence community assessments, that Tehran has orchestrated attacks on Israel and against U.S. personnel and positions in the Middle East since October 7th?
Yes, and I don't think that means that that the proxy groups or that others are always listening to everything that they have to say or under their direct control. But I think orchestrating is an appropriate characterization of what they've looked to do.
So it has, to use the dictionary definition, arranged or directed the elements of a situation to produce a desired effect, especially surreptitiously. That's correct? Okay. Director Burns, on page 34 of the assessment, the IC notes that the FBI and the Department of Energy have concluded that the most likely origins for the coronavirus pandemic was a laboratory in Wuhan, but the CIA cannot agree with that conclusively. Why can't the CIA reach the same conclusion that the FBI and the Department of Energy have reached?
Yeah, no, our analysts continue to look at this very carefully. They have not yet concluded that there's definitive evidence on either side of this, whether natural transmission or lab accident as well. We continue to pursue, more intelligence, more information that might help them to reach a definitive conclusion. But right now, they haven't been able to reach that.
Director Ray, why are your analysts so much more confident?
Our analysts did very rigorous work involving a whole slew of experts of different sorts. We reached the assessment with moderate confidence, and we stand by that assessment.
Thank you.